And then she was like, "What about making it red?" I'm like, "Even better!" Like I was like ready to roll with the as it was, but she just captured exactly what I had in my head. I mean,
Really?
she could have reached in and pulled it out, and that is almost exactly what I had. But I couldn't have ever, you know, vocalized that to her. I just kind of gave her some vague ideas. Like I think the only thing I sent her was the poster for Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, the Shane Black movie, the Robert Downey Jr.
Yep.
I said I kind of like that vibe, and from that she got that and just and nailed it. So that was really cool. And then I've been fortunate to get some really nice blurbs from some really cool authors doing shows like this. Like all those milestones, they're sort of like nice little pinch me moments that make the wait leading up to publication really nice. So
Well, how's it feel now? I mean, we're recording this in May. It's going to come out in July around the same time as your book. How's it feel? Like 2 months to go before D-Day, how's it feel?
it's nice because so many people have been asking me when it's coming out. People who don't understand how publishing works. Like
Hmm.
when I told people back in March of 22 that I sold it, they're like, "Oh, great! So when's it coming out? Like in a few months?" Like, no, no, it's going to be like 18 months of nothing,
Yeah.
and then 6 months of you're going to be so sick of hearing me talk about this book that you're going to buy it just to shut me up. So we're in that part now. We're in the where I'm apologizing on Facebook. Like I know I've already talked about the book for the last 3 months, but here's another thing about it. So right now we're just starting to get some trade reviews. I got a nice one from Publishers Weekly, which was really cool. Um, I just approved the final hard jacket copy. I've got an event coming up. It'll have already happened at this point, but I'm going to be hosting an author event with Hart Hansen, who is the creator of the TV show Bones. He's got a novel coming out from Blackstone, so I'm going to be in conversation with him for his book launch at the Mysterious Bookshop in New York.
Very
I'll
cool.
be on a panel at Thriller Fest with your buddy T.R. Hendricks, who
Oh,
was
my
somebody
man.
I reached out to him very early in the process because I was kind of watching and living vicariously through his debut journey. And I read The Instructor, loved it. I got The Infiltrator behind me waiting to go.
Yeah,
And
just dug
he was
into it.
nice. Yeah. Is it as solid as the first one? I mean, because he knocked the first one out of the park.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it picks up right where the
Yeah.
action
There's like,
left off. Like he's rolling
right.
immediately into it. It's very good.
And so I'm doing a panel with him and a few others about writing realistic fight scenes, which is hysterical to me because it's like him who's an army guy. There's a marine. There's a stunt coordinator. There's a stunt woman. There's a former FBI agent, and then there's a dude who sits in a cubicle for 40 hours a week in New Jersey, writing about realistic fight scenes. I'm like, on Sesame Street, I'm the thing that doesn't belong, right? But I get to be on this panel with
Yeah.
all these really cool people, so there's those kind of moments that they really make it feel real, you know?
But you have a different perspective on it, though, that I think is good for people to hear because uh, we crave authenticity in fiction. We crave the details. So many people are, especially military. They're quick. They're very, very quick. Even I'm guilty of it myself, reading a book and then saying that would never happen. Or
Hmm.
that detail is not 100% correct, and not letting it be entertainment and trying to
Right.
take too much out of it. But on the other side of that, maybe people who don't have that background, then you have to do the research.
Hmm.
And research, I think, is a really, really big part of writing fiction. And it's something that I learned. You can't just wing it. You can't just go in there and type and say, this kind of gun with this kind of magazine or this kind of round, because somebody's going to go, well, they don't actually make that gun in that caliber,
Hmm.
you know, and it's a really quick way to lose credibility, so
Hmm.
you have to do some research. And I think the problem I have today with some fiction is that people think you have to have a background in something in order to write it.
Hmm.
And that's a validation point, and I disagree with that. I think you don't have to have a background in everything in order to write about it, but you do got to do the research and dive into it
Yeah.
so you can speak about it. So I think having that on a panel, having someone like you on a panel who can say, "Well, how did you do it?"
Hmm.
Not having a background like that, how did you do it? Because you did it well.
Thank you.
If you wouldn't have told me that or told anybody that, they might not know. So
So I took the easy way out, and it was honestly it worked out that way that I didn't have to do a lot of crazy research because I always liked once I realized this was going to have a little bit more of a humorous tone. I decided I wanted to sort of bust a lot of thriller tropes, right? I wanted to sort of take some things that you see in a lot of novels. Not that they're bad. Formula novels work for a reason. Everybody loves the formula, right? It's all about how well you execute it. But to me, I didn't want to just do that because I didn't think I had anything new to offer that formula. So I'm like, well, let me take it and play with it a little bit and turn some things on its head. And one of the things I wanted to do from very early was write an action hero who was bad at the action stuff. Like Rick's, he's an in control guy. He's a confident guy when he's in his element. His element is finding bad guys for other bad guys, finding hitmen, finding hackers, finding variety of criminals. He knows connections. He knows how to talk to people.